There's a startling new report from the Anti-Defamation League on the far-right extremist group, the Oath Keepers. The Anti-Defamation League examining leaked membership rolls containing more than 38,000 names. It found more than 370 people believed to currently work for law enforcement agencies, 100 people who currently serve in the military, more than 80 who are running for or served in public office as of early August. It's important to note that appearing on the database does not necessarily prove someone was an active member, and many of those contacted say they are no longer affiliated with the group. I want to bring in Eric War. He's a senior advisor at the Western States Center. Eric, thanks for joining us on this. We appreciate it. Got to say, having been out front of the Capitol on January 6th, having spoke to people that, in fact, stormed the Capitol and hearing reports of so many law enforcement, former military that were a part of the storming of the Capitol, not necessarily surprising in this report, but how troubled are you? What is your reaction to hearing the extent to which there are members of law enforcement and military that are members of the Oath Keepers?
Here's what we know, and here's why we should be concerned. The Anti-Defamation League, looking through over 38,000 names, identified 370 people who work for law enforcement, another 100 individuals who appear to be current members of the military, and 80 people who are running for public office. We're concerned because this appears to be a key group, the Oath Keepers, who were involved perhaps in orchestrating the January 6th coup on the United States of America. So we should be concerned, but there are other areas, Yasmin, that we should seriously be concerned about. The first is we should understand that law enforcement who have compromised positions can create a lack of safety in communities and a severe lack of trust at a time where the country is trying to move forward together. So this is very alarming news coming out of the Anti-Defamation League.
What about the difference of the Oath Keepers at its founding in 2014 to now? And I ask this because the AP in contacting members that were on this database, right, some of which said they were no longer affiliated with the group, they had not paid their dues, so on and so forth. This group was founded back in 2014. Is there a huge difference today versus what it was at its founding?
Yes, when the Oath Keepers originate in 2014, and we should remember most Americans first learn about the Oath Keepers because they are part of paramilitary individuals who are actually in Ferguson in the midst of the Ferguson protest. These are the individuals who law enforcement were warning were showing up at the tops of buildings with sniper rifles, observing the protests. That was the origins of the Oath Keepers. It hasn't changed. What has changed is public transparency. The public, the media, and government are paying more attention to these paramilitary organizations who have been involved in disruptions in places like Portland, Oregon, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, California. Members of the Oath Keepers have participated in alt-right protests. And so we are concerned.